Hey, good morning. It's Ron O'Brien, market and derivative strategist at Interfood Incorporated. It's live, Miami, Florida, our domestic headquarters here. It's going to be the first of many different morning briefs. We'll just get into it straight. It is Tuesday, December 17th. We have the Class 3 futures market steadied about 9 higher overnight. A little decent volume in the February contracts. But it seems as if the Class 3 is really following this block cheese market, which is, as of yesterday, $1.9275. We are currently pricing Class 3 milk at $19.03. The front month December contract's $18.98. The 2014 average is $17.69. So you see the backward dated futures curve, but it's starting to creep higher, closing in on where we're currently pricing milk. All eyes have been focused on international powder markets. We have global dairy trade today, which is Fonterra's bi-monthly auction. Hearing rumblings of whole milk powder expected to likely set records today, and that's essentially drying up a lot of the other types of dairy products that would be produced. When you're producing whole milk powder, you're not producing cheese, butter, etc. As opposed to the skim milk powder, which is also well over $2 a pound. At least that would have a byproduct. The whole milk powder market is essentially all the milk's getting dried up internationally. So that's pulling our Class 4 markets higher. Class 4 last trade in December is 21.52. We currently price Class 4 at 21.05. The spot price for powder is pushing almost 210 here in the States, but the weekly average is still in California $1.90.94. The NDPSR or the AMS non-fat price at $1.93.63. So the futures will take a while, at least in the exact front month, to play catch up, but we can already see the January Class 4 at 21.52. Last week it was pushing almost 21.80, the record high Class 4 price, but January last trade is 21.52, same price as December, mostly because butter, which is another large component in Class 4, it's not just powder. Butter price is falling sharply at the mercantile exchange, the spot price. We were $1.66 the middle of last week, $1.55 last trade. So it's pulled off the top of this of the butter market, at least in the Class 4 market. Butter futures steadied about 1 cent lower this morning. January butter is trading at $1.55.50, so kind of right in line with the cash market. Most people are expecting cash butter to essentially settle out here. I keep saying at high prices we run out of exportable demand, and stockpiles build. Product seems to find its way to the CME. Lower prices, it's a different story. So essentially it's a trader's market here, but we are coming off the tops in butter, and that's kind of depressing Class 4 a little bit. The 2014 Class 4 average is $19.69, so exactly $2 above the Class 3 average for 2014. Powder futures a little steady in the front, slightly lower in the April through July contracts, but again, the global dairy trade is today. We'll be watching that. Any information that I get across, comes across my desk, I'll put out through dairypost.com, so make sure you sign up for those news updates. Also, what's on the horizon this week, the milk production report coming out on Thursday. Likely going to see steady cattle dairy herd numbers, but 1-2% higher than last year, but still not enough milk to really get buyers pessimistic. Buyers are still essentially scrambling to fill product. Outside of dairy, grain markets are a bit mixed this morning, and essentially flat for corn and wheat, but 7 cents lower for soybeans. January soybeans last trade 13.30.5, while March corn is 4.22 3/4. March wheat 6.22.5. So with the wheat market $2 above the corn price. Cattle markets still strong. They had sold off last week a little bit, but you're looking at December cattle at $1.32 a pound. We were trading 134.50 at the highs of October, closer in on 130, the lows of November. So right in there, but kind of on the bottom end of the trading range over the last 90 days. But that's fat cattle, 132 a pound. Feeders, 168.15 a pound in January. and that's up from about $1.62 a pound just about not even 30 days ago. So feeder markets taking off, but mostly these cattle markets are trading inversely to the grain markets. We see a wild sell-off in grains. We see some support come into the feeders and the cattle markets, and vice versa. We see fund buying, short covering in grain, and we see depressed cattle markets. But essentially, overall, I guess the long story short here is, dairy markets well supported by international protein prices. That'll probably be expected more today. Grain markets steady to lower, under pressure from heavy stocks, and cattle markets tight on short supplies and strong international demand as well. Stock market in December's up 100 and let me see, was that up 123 points? Let me get the March contract for you. Yeah, March Dow up 122 this morning, so some support in the indexes as well on a steady January crude market. January crude oil 97.21. Again, this is going to be a regular thing in the mornings here. It's going to be the top story that I put out in the mornings. You can find all my real-time updates on dairypost.com. Also, at midday, the cash markets live from the Board of Trade. I'm not live. I'm here in sunny Florida, but I broadcast live from the Board of Trade in real time for the block cheese, barrel cheese, butter, and powder, all cash markets that are instrumental in pricing these futures, as well as the milk that farmers are paid, and the benchmarks that a lot of these physical traders, especially physical traders in my firm, use to set their purchases and sales. So that live auction is at 10:40 Central Time at the very top of the email that I just sent, or I'll put it on Dairy Post as well. You can get into that call. I also am interviewing different industry professionals in the middle of that call between the auctions, so make sure you check that out. Otherwise, you need me. My contact information is in my emails I sent. If you're not on that list, make sure you send me your information. But dairypost.com, I put out a lot of the same information. So have a good day. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Hopefully, if you want to share any information with me, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.